Good morning, everybody. We're live on Facebook and Twitter at Fir Park today, and we're here to see Motherwell take on Rangers. As you can see, Alex Rae alongside Stephen Craigan and Chris Sutton. We've got a question to pose to start off today. Get in touch, get all your questions in. But the question we will pose are Rangers genuine title contenders under Stephen Gerrard? Shall we go down the bottom end, Alex?
Absolutely. Do you want to start? No, you start with me, that's fine.
Well, that's where we've gone.
Well, do you know what? Ask me in a week.
Go off that fence.
Put the microphones down.
So we all just down tools.
5 big days for Celtic this transfer window. What Brendan talked about, getting 3 or 4 in, is that putting a bit more pressure on the board? And then we'll find out. But I've been
Put your neck in the line. Are Rangers title contenders from what you've seen?
Yes, they are, yes.
On the basis
on the basis that they have a steel, a desire to see games through. That I think their back four is better. I think the goalkeeper, I'm a fan of Fotheringham as well. But McGregor has been top draw for Rangers. So if Celtic don't sort out their centre-half area, then there's a title race on.
Potentially a defining week for both Rangers and Celtic then. But on the question, are they title contenders? What do you think?
I think coming into the season, the Rangers fans wanted a little bit of hope that they could get closer to Celtic, that they really could kick on and have a little bit of belief. They've travelled in their thousands, spent their money. They just wanted a genuine belief, probably a little bit of stability as well. And I think they've got it. Short term at the minute, you have to say yes, but the longer the season goes with regards to how Celtic do, you know, how Goldson continues his form, Katic, they've played a lot of games up to this point, and I'm concerned in the next few weeks they may run out of a little bit of energy.
They can't afford many more injuries either. When you look at the bench,
today,
freebie today. Yeah. He started already there, Stephen.
Don't bite, Craig.
Battle today.
No, I'm not going to him.
We'll come back to that.
Well, we know his answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, listen, as I said, the start of the season, I would have said that Celtic were firm favourites.
Yeah.
If you look at the last couple of weeks, you would say Rangers look a lot more stronger. Celtic seem to be a wee bit of a mess at the moment, trying to get results. It is a big week for Celtic in terms of recruitment, if they can get 1 or 2 more bodies. And I agree with Craigs as well in terms of Rangers, if they get injuries to any one of the centre halves, I think that may well be one that Rangers want to bring in one during the week.
Because when you look at the bench, and Jamie Murphy, of course, is going to be out for the season as well. Do they need another winger? It's a bit frail, isn't it, beyond the starting 11?
I think Jamie Murphy's a big blow for Rangers because they don't have great options in the wider area of Kent and Candace. If they get through on Thursday night, I'd like to believe there'll be more money available to maybe bring someone in, so they'll have to target him.
Their issue is squad depth, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Rangers.
Yeah, but Friday, of course, the window closes Friday.
But I think the intriguing bit is,
wait till Thursday.
But I think the intriguing bit is Thursday's such a big game for them, and Sunday's such a big game. Next Sunday, if there's any game where he thinks he can maybe pull a few out and rest a few bodies, he'll probably think it's today.
He didn't mention today. Did you? You said about Thursday and Sunday being big games. You didn't mention today.
Yeah, for Rangers, but not. It's a bigger game for Motherwell today, naturally. But I'm just saying he'll be looking ahead, even though he'll say publicly he's not. Privately, he'll be thinking this is the game where he might have to. Yeah, but
what a tough place to come for Rangers and Celtic last week.
That's what Motherwell are hoping, that he can come and rest a few players, and they can take advantage of it.
See, Motherwell did lose their first 2 games last season.
Oh, yeah.
Look what they did.
Exactly.
A couple of cup finals. Bit of hope yet, Stephen? Bit of hope?
I'll always hope. Always hope in Motherwell.
Good. Wayne York's got in touch and he's asking if Rangers do get into Europe. Morning, Wayne. Will they struggle with the squad size? And I guess that's what we're getting at. Every Thursday followed by a tough league game on a Sunday, Alex. If they're going to continue the cups as well, could get tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if they got to the Europa League group stages, then the question mark would be, would the squad be big enough? You look at the bench in recent weeks, it's more or less a youth team, 19, 20-year-olds throughout. So, the finances of about £7 or £8 million going into that group stages, so that would make a big difference going forward for the club.
With the gate receipts and everything else.
But I tell you what, it isn't just sometimes the depth. It's almost Stephen Gerrard wanting to work on tactical things and wanting to work on his shape and wanting to work on his patterns of play, for example. Because all you do is play, recover. And then it comes into national duty and half a dozen away there as well. So you never actually get that time as a coach to implement what you're looking for. So it's obviously finding the balance.
Could Europe be a disadvantage then?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're caught in the devil in the deep blue sea with that one, Chris, because as you say, the squad isn't strong enough. And, if they have to play every Thursday, Sunday, then it becomes a chore. But
it could be a disadvantage, though, in terms of the finance, surely, because they're a club that needs the money.
We're not talking about the finance, Darrell. We're talking about the pressure on the playing squad.
Chris, it's keeping your best players as well. You need the money to keep them going forward.
If you ask Stephen Gerrard, if you ask Stephen Gerrard, would he take the £7 million of the board? They would bite the hand off you. It would gather momentum as well for the club. You listen to Stephen Gerrard, he looks as if he wants to win every game he gets into.
One of the prime objectives, I should say, when he got given the job job was to get into the Europa League. He said.
Would you almost look at
objections or objective?
Well, it was an objection from you, but
on your point, Chris? Would you almost point to the Conte situation at Chelsea when they won the league? The fact that all the other competitors were in European football and were playing continually, where Chelsea weren't.
Yeah, I think that's
stage.
a good, good point, good comparison.
Just almost the depth.
No, I mean, so we're talking about Celtic, big 5 days, Rangers as well. I think he wants more in.
Gary Graham's question, what's the repercussions if Celtic don't bring in another centre-back, and do you think Boyata will be sold before the deadline?
Do I think Boyata will be?
The repercussions, that's an interesting part of that question, isn't it, if they don't get the players in?
They've got to sell him. They can't rely on a Judas for the rest of the season, which, essentially it would be, Boyata. There's no way Boyata can have a future. I'm still confused about, is he injured, isn't he injured?
Yeah. Mentally
injured? I mean, what is it all about? But, Celtic need to sort the situation out. It's getting serious. And then, we're into the McKenna stuff. They bid for Scott McKenna. He's been on the radar for a long time. There's a lot. I don't know what Celtic did throughout the summer. Did they just close the club down and shut off for 5 or 6 weeks? That's the way it seemed.
Well, they've signed Edouard for a record fee, Chris, during that time.
But they had him last year. Aloni, Armstrong goes for 7 million. Sviatchenko, so they've covered that base. Centre half's been an issue, for a long time at Celtic, and this is the season. At the moment, we're all looking at it, and it's bitten them on the backside.
Daniel Forbes is making a point. Sorry, Steve, will come back to you. Quality of football at Celtic so poor at the moment. Brendan should take responsibility for poor signings, especially Compere and Hendry.
Yep.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. What I would say is it's Brendan's first real blip, but it is worrying. I mean, Brendan talks about a lack of pride in the defending the other night, and I mean, what Celtic need to do is that they need to pull together. You can see Rangers, everybody's moving in the same direction, and there's just 1 or 2 things I don't like at Celtic. Craig Gordon saying is every man for himself. Yeah. What they've got to do, they've got to think about what they achieved the last couple of seasons. They've got to sort the centre-half situation out. They still are the best team in Scotland, but they've got to sort it out quickly.
It almost looked as if the Boyata situation was solved last weekend when Chris Davis came out and spoke and said there's been a meeting, that's fine. He's back in training on Monday. Then it comes to the game on Thursday and he doesn't travel and he doesn't play.
And he's actually injured all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's suddenly still not 100% fit. So that would almost convince me. If he'd played last Thursday and made himself available, it may have worked. But I think that in not playing in that game, I think enough is enough. It's time to move him on. The players now will almost look and think, do you know what, we give you a second chance and you're still not right, so no, away you go.
Think it's done and dusted for him?
Absolutely.
They need to get the money in though, Alex.
Listen, there's no way that he can actually see out this Friday. He has to go. They have to move on from it because there's most certainly going to be divisions within that dressing room.
Yeah. They're not going to get 9 million.
No.
And they might be thinking, we'll get close to that. They're not. They need to just, cut ties. It's been a massive error. I think, the biggest thing is this situation should have been resolved before the summer.
Yeah.
It's
or celebrate after the World Cup, Chris.
It's his. Well,
when the stock was
it's
higher.
his objective. Celtic should have said, you need to let us know. If you don't let us know, we're going to get someone else in, and we will let you know.
Equally, they could have cashed in right away because we know the bids did come in for him. 9 million from Fulham.
They could have cashed in.
Right after the World Cup, I'm saying, why do it before the World Cup? Why not say, right, he's had a great World Cup,
but the whole point
sell him and replace him?
Is they should have dealt with that. Yeah. I don't see why they let that go on and on, and they should have got a replacement in. They knew what was going, the possibility of him going. So have a target.
But they don't seem to have a target because otherwise they'd have went and got him and then.
Or a realistic target.
Yeah.
Well, they've missed some of the targets. I think the manager has confirmed that. And Scott McKenna is a new target. Can they get him in the window? That'll be a question. Maybe we'll come back to that.
It's not Derek McKenna saying that he's going to go down south. He will go down south.
Won't leave in this window. I think he said eventually Premier League
quite an odd thing
clubs
to
will
say,
come calling,
isn't it? So, is it another McGinn situation where if Celtic say, well, we're going to stump up the cash?
How much would it cost to get him now?
It may be a situation where Aberdeen are saying, we have him on a 5-year contract, 4.5 years left on his contract. We, under no circumstances, are selling to Celtic. Yeah. If he's leaving this football club, it will be on our terms because we've got a 4.5-year deal. He is going to England.
Why wouldn't they sell him to Celtic if Celtic?
Because it would make them weaker. It would make them weaker.
Johnny Hayes.
And naturally, that was because I think Johnny only had a year, 18 months left.
Absolutely.
They've got a longer term deal in this. If Celtic are going to bid £4 or £5 million, I'm guessing their belief will be.
They bid 8.
Someone will, I imagine someone in England will bid that as well. If they think
in this window,
England, no, not in this window. I think eventually, I don't think they'll leave in this window.
Would they improve Celtic though, Chris? I'm looking at that boy and I'm thinking to myself, is he much better than what they have at the moment?
I think the jury's out. Again,
Yeah, but
I like what I've seen from him. Do I think he's a ball-playing centre-half? No. Do I think he's got a rick in him? Yep.
He's got a lot of good attributes as well.
Yes, he does. And,
he's only 20.
Exactly.
And when you
Young
look
boy.
down south, at some of the players going, I can't remember the lad who went from Bristol City to Middlesbrough for £8 million. And you think, he should be commanding that sort of money. I said before on here, Scottish football, the players are devalued. They don't go for enough money. We devalue our own players. It's not right to hang out. Derek McKenna is quite within his rights to hang out for bigger money for McKenna.
But what you're saying anyway is you'd rather Celtic go and sign a bona fide, ready centre half, not another development project.
And
you need
you're
someone
back to
now
the old.
who's ready to go.
What does Lee Congerton do? Darrell.
Lee, get in touch. Let us know if you know.
I'm being serious. It's a serious issue. Celtic have made horrendous.
Well, he's the chief scout. Let's be honest.
But he's Brendan Rodgers' man, isn't he?
looking.
So you end up going back to the manager then, Chris, surely.
Yeah,
Scott
that's
Rutherford's getting in touch. Today's game for Rangers on the match. What impact will Kyle Lafferty bring to the side, do you think?
Well,
Maybe he'll be involved.
I think what he will do is he'll take part of the workload off Morelos. We're talking here about strength and depth, about the amount of games they've played. Morelos will start every competitive game. So somewhere along the line, he's going to run out of steam. He's going to need a replacement. Sadiq is obviously not good enough at this moment in time. Otherwise, they wouldn't sign Kyle Lafferty. So I think it just gives him an option. Will he play ahead of Morelos? Probably not. Can he play in a wide area? Yes, he can. So he can almost play in between. It means he can play a 3-5-2 if he wants, a 4-4-2. He can play with two out-and-out strikers. I think it just gives him more flexibility. Plus, he's a tried and tested. If he cost under £1 million, no-brainer for me. He knows the league. He scored in the past. I think he's a decent sign.
6-figure sum, they said, I think was confirmed.
So £1 million you would think roughly.
Less than £1 million. OK, should we move on a bit? Because Ryan Moffat's got in touch and said, never mind they pair. I don't think he's talking about any of you in particular.
That's not correct.
It's Hearts League, he says. I think he's saying, why are you talking about Rangers and Celtic?
Must have been a good night last night.
What a start. And have we got a sick bucket for Stephen Craigan?
What's
And
that?
Hearts such a good start to the season. Craigie.
What's wrong with that?
Craig Levine.
Yeah.
Great start. Isn't it good to see?
If you're bringing 27 players and you still want to bring another 3 in, then there has to be dramatic improvement. If there's not dramatic improvement, you're out the door.
Listen,
Craig
surprised by the
Levine's
start
doing well.
they've made,
No, I'm not.
considering all the new players that
No,
have
I'm not,
arrived.
because he's signed good players.
Yeah.
Simple as he's got a structure in place. He knows what he wants to do. Craig has always known what he's wanted to do with his team. He's always known how he's wanted to play. You look at Dundee United when he went there, how he turned them around. The Scotland job didn't work because they weren't his players.
Great manager.
He's a structure, he knows what he wants.
He's a great
He knows what he
manager
wants. So,
again.
I'm not
They wanted
surprised.
him sacked last year.
I think, Stephen, I think you were calling it as you saw it, which I think you do quite often as well, don't
Yeah,
you?
but yeah, I think you're allowed to do that.
You can change your mind as well, I think. Have you changed your mind, Stephen?
In what?
In regards to Hearts? And
Yeah.
Craig Levine as a man?
Yeah,
There you
well,
go.
my
See,
issue
that's
wasn't
what
with
can
Craig
happen.
Levine. My issue was with the fact that Ian Cathro sat in the back 18 months to 2 years. Craig's come in and picked up the pieces.
And he appointed him.
He's had to spend the game. Yeah, but it's his job to sign players.
Yeah, it is.
Director of football is to negotiate contracts. The manager brings players in.
And he said
That's
Ian
what happened.
Cathro signed the
You
players.
two
That-
working in
that was-
cahoots here.
No, just pointing out facts, Chris. Going by the quotes of the managers
Yeah.
and past and present.
He's done well, absolutely.
Very
And he's turned
objective.
it around. What a
Yes.
start for Hearts. Big win
Absolutely.
yesterday for them.
Yeah, they got a break with the sending off, Chris.
No, they didn't.
Well, we'll see all the action, by the way.
I'm
We'll see-
going to
we'll
see
see
it.
all the
I haven't
action
seen it. I was
today.
just He's about to see it.
No, because we've got it on Scottish Football Extra today, by the way.
I
All
was,
the big
I
moments.
was winding him up. He says it was a Stonewall red card, Big Chris, but
Oh, did he?
I never take his word. No, listen, 3 wins in the bounce is tremendous. They've recruited well. They've brought a physicality, as you would expect, from Craig's teams, and it's a brilliant start for them.
It is indeed. Win the league?
No.
Yep. Was it Ryan?
Did you say yes?
No,
You think they can?
I'm just going back to the question. You know.
Right.
I'll tell you
One
what the
Hearts
rest of
fan
the-
maybe getting slightly carried
I'll tell
away.
you what the rest
why,
of the clubs
Why
like.
should they not?
I'll tell you what the rest of the clubs like. When Hearts are going well, as a Hibs, they travel in their thousands.
Yeah.
I think they're almost 5,000 in Furman last
Aberdeen
week.
fans
in the
as well,
Betfred
going down
Cup.
to Easter Road
They had-
yesterday,
yeah,
brilliant,
but I
yeah.
think they sold out 2,000. So the fact that Scottish football now, stadiums are looking better, teams are going well, competitive football, you can't beat it.
Well, that's one of the great things about this season.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
these teams seem to be getting stronger.
Yeah, well, both Edinburgh clubs will get stronger. Rangers and Celtic are going their numbers as well. You know, there's plenty to look forward to, and
Dundee on stronger.
No. Maybe another subject for Scottish Football Extra. In fact, I think we better actually close this down at the moment. He needs to see some instants before we go live, which is 11:15 today. We'll be looking at all the
Needs to see
goals,
the light.
all the big talking points from yesterday. We'll see you then.